Robert Drury back again, and in this video, I am going to do a recap of 5 games I played in the Kentucky Action Championship earlier today. The tournament consisted of 40 players. It was an open section, so you had anywhere from 2,100 down to unrated players, with the majority of the players being under 1,200. And I'm going to go in this video. I'm going to go over the first 3 games, and I'll have another video up tomorrow of the last 2. And I'll tell you up front, this wasn't some of my sharpest games, but we will go over these videos, and I'll show you the errors I made, things I did well, and the final results. All right. So my first opponent was Larry Chapin, and he's a gentleman that had been out of chess for 25 years, he told me, and now he's coming back and played in the over the board tournament, and his rating was 1238. So I start off with B3, which is a Nimzo Larson, and the whole intent is to get into a Hippo, and he plays a knight. So usually when they play their knight, I'm thinking they're gonna push their pawn. They're gonna push their pawn up. They're gonna play their bishop in. But that's not what he did. He just went ahead and standard. Let's play d5. So we'll continue with the Hippo. I play the e3 pawn out just to prevent him from pushing the d4 to d4. And now he brings his knight, so he's got his 2 knights. I don't have to worry about 3 pawns in the center. So I just continue. I played my d3 pawn, and you see the evaluation bar. The engine absolutely does not like the Hippo. It already says black has a slight advantage. All right, so he puts his 2 pawns in the center. I bring my knight around, which generally when you shuttle your bishop to b2 first, you also develop that knight. And as the other side, if you go bishop to g2 first, then you would develop the king's knight first. So he plays a bishop. It's a little odd square for the bishop right here. I do not see that very often. Usually they'll put a bishop here, they'll put it here, or they'll come out here. That was a little odd that he put his bishop there. And the reason for that is if you put your bishop anywhere else, you can just drop a queen in behind it. All right, and I just went ahead with my Hippo setup, brought my knight out, and he brings this other bishop. And this really is of all the online games and over the board games I've played, I haven't seen the bishops at d7 and e7. It's different. I wasn't real sure where we were going with it. All right, so I just go ahead and I continue with my Hippo setup. He castles, and there we are. We're working on the Hippo, and he brings this rook over, which makes sense. He's just getting his rook centralized, putting it on the e-file, getting it ready to go down, and it's got a central location. And I play h6, and the reason for this is I didn't want to castle, then have him drop his queen right in behind the bishop, because then I got problems. If I was to push the pawn, then he just takes. But all right, let's go back. All right, so back to where we started. So what I did was I played h6, and now he brings his bishop down. He's going to hit on or try to pin me. So I just push a3 and kick his bishop back. And now here, I could have got an advantage if I would have just played b4. He goes back, and then I could push the c pawn. And I looked at this, but I don't know. I just didn't play it. And this was part of the first round game. The first round game, I got into this mode where I didn't play sound moves. I just got into I don't know, just passive play. But I didn't play that. But if I'd have played it, I could have just went ahead and taken some space over here on the queen side, and he's going to have to play either a6 or a5. And I just take space, and white's got a +1 advantage. But I did not do that. I just castled. Still got a slight advantage. Not as good, but it's not bad. And he pushes. So here, now I play b4. But this time, b4 is not as good if I just go ahead and take the pawn. Take it, and he takes here. I take the knight off the board. He takes, I take back, and he cannot take because his bishop would hang. But instead, I played b4, which, like I said, it's not as good now because he can play e takes d. And now I got to come back with c takes d, and it's just not as good because I've kind of messed my pawns up. I don't have the c push anymore. It's still got the advantage. It's just not as good. But these are the things in this first game that I did. I moved late on a lot of my ideas, and then they weren't nearly as strong. All right, so anyway, let's go. Hold on a second. I played b4. He drops back, and here, once I took bishop takes. Now the engine likes to just go ahead and d takes c. Let's see, hold on, bishop. Just like she'd go ahead, d takes c, knight takes e, and the knight takes. Takes back, takes, and now you can go c4 still. But once again, I just went ahead and took the knight off the board. I'm thinking, all right, I can win a pawn, get the knight off the board. He takes back, and I take. And now he pushes. And here, I can just bring my knight around. He can't take because, once again, he would drop his bishop. And I let the game simplify to where he's got freedom of play. So I take, and you can see it went from a 2 to a +3, 4. Even though I'm up a pawn, it's now his pieces become active. He takes, take, and there you go. And let's see. And once again, after E, I could have just hit knight to c4 instead of playing E takes. Could have hit knight to c4. Queen goes to h6, take, c. And once again, he can't take because of the misplacement of his bishop. But I just simplify, and let him get play. And now it's game's virtually even. I'm up a pawn, I got materialistic, and I didn't worry about piece activity. And instead, I gave him piece activity, which negated the whole thing of being up a pawn. All right, so let's go back. Or next move, he plays his rook over. Now he's got two rooks. He's got the rook lined up against my queen. So he's got more initiative than I do. He's got his pieces can flow into the game better. I bring my queen over just to get it out of the line of fire, and he brings his queen over. Now, this wasn't good. I could just come in knight to b3. What's what I do, and he drops back, and now I've got the c4 push. I always got this c4 push that I hadn't been doing. This time I do it. So now he's got to push. He's got to defend. He plays the c pawn up to defend, and now let's see. I played my rook at B over. In actuality, B takes C5, bishop takes C5. I can go knight here. He takes, and I can take like this. And I'm still up a pawn. I'm getting pieces off the board. We both got bishops. But I play my rook over. And in actuality, if I was going to hit the queen, I needed to hit the queen with this rook. Because now, if he goes in here, I can come in here, and if he goes here, this is defended, and I can just go B takes C5, force him to drop back. But I moved the wrong rook over. He drops his queen, or he brings his queen to E7 just to make sure he's got extra protection on the pawn, and I bring my rook up. Comes the queen to C3. I saw he might do that, and here I can just take. He takes, and I could go rook at F to D1, and now I'm hitting here, and I've just got a better game. But as this game has been going and the way I've been playing, I'm just, instead of worrying about piece activity, I'm just getting pieces off the board. And I give away my entire advantage. Okay, he takes here, I take back, and now he brings his bishop over. He's hitting this. All right, what do? Well, I take the rook off the board because he's also hitting the rook. He takes back, and I push the pawn in order to just kick his bishop back. Moves his bishop back, and now I got. All right, is he going to come here? If I move the knight away, he'll come in here, hit this pawn. So I bring my rook over. I'm going to just protect the pawn, then maybe move the knight away. He moves his pawn up. I move my king over, and he brings his bishop down. And now I will say he's starting to get into some major time trouble. And this game will only go, well, it goes a few more moves before we actually get into the part where he's down on time. But we'll go. All right, I bring my knight around. So, all right, I can take here. Take there if I ever have an opportunity. All right, he brings his rook over. And now, I'm like, all right, what are we going to do? I'm sitting there thinking, I'm really perplexed. I'm like, what am I going to do? Indian says knight to C4. And I thought about that. And I didn't play it. Just play knight to C4. Of course, the engine doesn't like it now. All right, let's go back. I thought about playing it, and to be quite honest, I can't tell you why I decided not to. Just, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just, Rick, I'm not, oh, this is the move. That's the move. That's the reason I decided not to. Then I'd have to come over. I mean, literally, well, he can't take. He can't take because I'll take the rook. But these are the type of things that I looked at it, but then I didn't look any deeper other than the fact that he could bring his bishop over. All right. But so I took the bishop off the board. He took back. And now I come up because, let's see. I didn't want to see this move. I didn't want to see this move and then the rook coming here, and now he's going to win the pawn. So that's brought my rook up. And I just missed the fact now he can just target the pawn. All right, now what I do? Now I'm like, I'm in some trouble here. He takes, if I move away, he wins this. If he takes and I move back here, he drops back with the discovered, so I'm in trouble. So I just bring my king over, and now I'm like, all right, so he takes with the bishop, I take the rook. So if he takes with the rook, I can just move a rook right here, and I'm threatening back rank mate, and also I can win the bishop. So let's see. So that's the way it goes. And now he takes. But back to this position, I could have just played rook to f1. And I saw this after I made the move. I'm like, why not just play rook to f1? Because these pawns are protected. He can hit here, and rook to f1 hits the pawn. So now he's defending. All right, but instead I played my rook over. I suppose the engine's not a whole lot of difference. If he takes, I take. And now he had to spend a tempo because of he didn't want to back rank mate. Now here, I could have gone here and forced his king further away from the action, because the action was going to be over on the 6th rank and targeting the 2 pawns. All right, but what I did was I went to the 6th rank first. In actuality, giving him a check and coming back just gives you a tempo. Gets the king further from the action. He takes, I take. Now he comes here. So I defend. Now I'm up 1.3. Can I win this? Oh, and I'm sorry, but here is where he got in severe time trouble, and I also quit taking notes because I thought I would flag him. And in the game, we ended up with all of his pawns were gone. My E pawn and H pawn was gone, and I had 2 pawns and a rook versus a king and rook. Of course, I had my king. And instead of taking my time, and I had more time on the clock than he did, instead of taking my time and just nursing it and putting pressure on him, I ended up sacrificing a pawn and ended up where I ended up losing both pawns. And it was just a theoretical draw at that point. But he flagged. And it was just, and I told him I was sorry afterwards, because, I mean, he didn't deserve to lose by flagging, but it was quick time controls. It's just, I was not pleased with this game. I was not pleased with this game at all. Even though I got the win, I wasn't pleased. There were some good things in the game, but overall, I just missed too many things. And as we go into round 2, it gets worse. I suppose you got to hit rock bottom before you start climbing up. But all right, so I went into round 2, and I won 1. I'm 1-0 after 1 round. My opponent, Chris Liu, is 1-0 after 1 round, and Chris is a 15-year-old kid that is just been on a tear here lately. He's at 21-21, and he's a good player. Back a couple years ago, I drew him a few times, but the last 3 times I've played him, he's killed me. And on top of that, Chris watches all my Hippo videos, so he knows exactly what I'm playing. So this was a double whammy, well, more maybe a triple whammy. Chris watches all my videos. He's know what I'm playing, and I gave him a ride to the tournament just where he could kill me. He just, and as you'll see, this game actually, I mean, I'm joking about all this, but the game actually taught me a lot, because it taught me about move orders and pay attention to what your opponent was doing, because Chris was very sly with the way he handled this. We had played some blitz games, and I played a couple games online against him, played some blitz games before the tournament began, and he played against my Hippo, and he didn't dare reveal his hand on what he's actually been looking at. So it kind of caught me by surprise because I just wasn't expecting it to go the route that it went. All right, but anyway, I start off with B3. I had white again. He brings his knight around. Now, in the previous games, he had pushed his pawn to E5, then he pushed his other pawn to F6. So, and he had played this a couple different times, so I was expecting that. But then when he put his knight here, I'm expecting him to bring his G-pawn up, bishop right behind it. But with him pushing this knight here, and him not playing either one of these pawns, I actually probably had time to go ahead and fin shuttle the other bishop. And you might be thinking, well, what difference does that make? You're going to get it anyway. No. And I'll show you why it didn't work out that way. All right, so instead, I went ahead and fin shuttled my bishop. So Chris he knows I want to fin shuttle this bishop because he watches my videos. So he just plays B6. Guess what? He's going to be the one fin shuttled his bishop. Now I'm going to have trouble. I'm not going to be able to fin shuttle the bishop unless I eventually play E4 or bring a knight in here. And that's not the Hippo setup. And I'm bound and determined. I'm stubborn. I'm going to play a Hippo. So I continue with my setup. And here, I know I've done enough reading about it. I've played it before online. I know. Just play E4. Play E4 and go ahead and develop your knights. And you're not playing a full Hippo, but you're not losing yet. All right, but I went ahead and played my knight around because I, once again, stubborn. I'm going to play Hippo. Oh, wait a second. Now he's going to fin shuttle his bishop. He's going to get the two bishops. So it just starts to get, each one of my moves gets a little worse. I mean, right here, I still can put a knight here, do something with this bishop, but no. I continue with the Hippo, and you can, the evaluation bar, it's just getting a little worse each time I make a move. He castles, and now I'm playing the H-pawn because I'm like, all right, maybe he'll put his knight here, and then I can work on it. But he ain't going to do that because he knows what I want. So H6 was just another wasted tempo. He pushes C-pawn. He's going to get some space down here, try to prevent me from pushing, or just, he's just gaining space. And now I push the pawn. It's like, just should have done it earlier. But now my bishop, I got to put my pawn here and a bishop. But he doesn't give me time. He's like, no, I'm not going to give you time. He pushes E5. And it's a good move. I bring my knight up because now I'm just trying to defend. And I've also got to be careful because of this. I'm losing. I'm literally 9 moves into the game, and I am getting the crap kicked out of me by the Hippo. Well, not by the Hippo. I'm getting the Hippo crap kicked out of the Hippo. He brings his knight around, but it's too late. I can't push the pawn. So I just bring my bishop up. And it's another. I'm just bleeding. I'm bleeding the advantage right now. He's killing me. And he brings the other pawn. Now this was a mistake. I could castle. Now let's go back. Instead of pushing that pawn, the engine says he could just go ahead and take. He can go ahead and take. I take. I mean, he takes here. I got to take. But he's, he can do this. And if I take back, let's say I take back, and he takes, and he's just winning. I mean, he's got a better pawn structure. I got 3 pawns to his 4 over here, and 2 of my pawns, I got a double pawns. But that was the one mistake he made. He pushed e5. And now castle. And the engine here likes queen d7, likes h5. And he brings his knight down. And it's another move that's just this move surprised me. Let's see what could I've done. Engine like c3, just pushing it out. And I mean, he could take here. If he takes there, I take here, and it's like it's getting some of the pressure off. But I didn't even play c3. Could have played rook e1. But instead, I bring my knight up. We'll take with the knight. Once again, it's too late. It's not fast enough. He just takes. And then I'm like, all right, what do I do? I figure, all right, I'll take the pawn back. And here, he just brings his queen. He just brings his queen down, and now, oh boy, I've got some serious problems. Engine says, you know, I mean, here it gets technical. I didn't know what to play. I could take here. He takes. He's hitting here. I go knight to c4. Then he just, you know, he can start bringing his rooks over. And at this point, the material isn't bad. It's just he's got all the activity. But I don't even let that happen. Let's go. I just protect. And it was just worse. He just took. And I bring my bishop up. And he takes again. And here I'm desperate. I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'll do this. And I don't know. He's let's see. I mean, he could take there. I was thinking, I'll just take back this way. He takes, and I'm thinking, all right, maybe I can salvage this, but I didn't even get that way. Instead, Chris just, all right, hold on. He just took back with the pawn. So now I got to take this way. And he takes with the knight. Didn't take with this. So, and I take the pawn. And he brings this rook over. He's just methodically, he's killing me. And I drop back, and now his knight comes in. And now I'm basically this bishop, this knight. I've been dead lost for a while. I move over, now this rook comes in. And here I resign. I mean, there's just no surviving this. Now, I didn't like losing this game. Now, I will tell you, Chris went on to win the tournament. He finished 5-0, and he won the tournament, and I was one of his victories. But with that, the game just taught me a lot to pay attention to what your opponent's doing. And so I'm 1-1, and I'm going to go into round 3, and I'm playing another it's a young player who's also 1-1, and I won't even attempt to pronounce his name because I would just not do good with it. But it's a young kid, and he's 1551. I think I asked him during the game, before the game, what his rating was. I think he told me 1300, so that threw me off when I found out later on he was actually 1551. Maybe it's a little psychological game he was playing on me. All right, but anyway, he plays e4. And he had another guy that I played last tournament was talking to him when I went up to the board, and he was actually going over the Hippo with this kid, telling the kid exactly what I played and how to play against it. And I thought, well, that's interesting. I suppose if you know I play the Hippo, I'll get a lot of that. Okay, so I play b6, And he puts his 2 pawns in the center, and he brings his knight around. All right, so here, when they put the knight here, you're going to push e6 with the potential of putting the bishop right here and giving him a pin. I played e3, e6, and he brought the knight. So now he brought the knight, so I can actually get into a regular hippo. I can get into a regular hippo, push right there. I'm in a regular hippo. Engine hates it. Engine says it's +1 for white. I don't totally agree with the engine on this. Actually, now it's starting to be +0.83. The engine's thinking about it. Initial evaluation by the engine, it's +1. Now it's down to +0.79. It takes the engine a little bit of time to get around to what we already know, but it's not that bad. All right, anyway. He gives me a check. No problem, we'll just block. He wants to take, we'll take with the queen, we'll take the bishop pair. Instead, he plays e5. I'm like, all right, he's going aggressive. I just play 6. I want to push you out. If you want to take, I will take. Let's see. You take, I'll take. You want to come in here, and then, I mean, you know, queen to d6. Or queen takes d6, and you know, I'm good with that line. But he pushes back, or moves back, and I hit him again. He drops back, and now I got an advantage. I can play c5, and I mean, if he takes, I take back, and he's got to once again break up his pawn over here, and I can just push and just kick his pieces back where they came from, and then defend. And it's -1.21 or 1.34 for black. But I took. It's still good for black. All right, now he castled. He didn't want to take back. So now here, c5, same strategy. This time he takes, and I take with the queen. I'm protecting here, and I'm going to win this pawn back. There's nothing he can do to protect it. He can bring his queen down. I just take, and it's -2. All right, but I just take. And still, it's still good for black. He takes back with this knight, and now here, I bring my knight. All right, so far, everything is going pretty good. Haven't always hit the best moves, but it is, it's not been bad. Here, I start to go wrong a little bit. Here, I could play knight to c5. I could play queen. But instead, I think, all right, I got to get my pieces out. So I bring my knight out. Brings his rook over. So here, I still got c5. I don't play it. Play my bishop up. But now, he can take here. I take back. He comes in here, and he hits the queen. I got to move the queen away. And then he hits the... takes the other pawn, and here it's not good. I give up 3 pawns for a piece. Okay, when City plays bishop to g5, he lets me off the hook. I can go c5, and I saw this sacrifice. I saw the sacrifice earlier. I just, for whatever reason, I didn't think he'd play it. Boy, was I mistaken. But here I could have still went c5, and it would also protect against sacrifice, and it would take the bishop out of the way. Now I castle. And he says, all right, you ain't going to stop me from doing it. I'm doing it. Except I was kind of expecting, here, but he saw, let's see, if he goes here, I take, he takes, and I'm still good. And instead, he took with his knight. I take back. He takes. All right. Now I could have put my rook here. Put rook here. He takes, I take. And now, I mean, if it goes queen d2, I can go bishop to d6, and I'm still good. I'm basically up a piece in exchange for a pawn, and I'm still good. But I play passive. I play passive here. I just move it away. All right, now he takes. Oh, I can't take. I can't take it. I can't take it. He just takes. And now he's hitting both of them. I take this way. He takes. I take. And now he's hitting. I'll go here. He could just, I mean, to do, go bishop d3. That's what the engine says. I'm just in a lot of trouble. All right, so I saw that I had to give the piece back, and I thought about it for a few minutes. I thought, all right, gave the piece back, and I just hit the bishop. All right, so now he takes, and believe it or not, I mean, all this, and black is still all right. Black is all right. Black can take here. I went from being a pawn up to being a pawn down, but according to the engine, I've got the advantage. And if you're wondering, why do I have the advantage? I've got the advantage because this bishop and this bishop become very active. I've got the ability to bring the rook over here too. So if he doesn't, let's say that he just, I don't know, let's say he decides that he's going to do something, I don't know, he come here. Let's say he just decides to come here. I take, he takes, and I just come over here. And I saw that. I saw that. All right, so when I took, and he figures he's just going to play queen. He's going to hit here. It's just a losing move because now this pawn is just very weak and there's literally no defense. I mean, if he comes over here, I take, he takes. I can take here. Let's say he moves away. I could take, takes, and I don't know what it says here, queen to f8. Why don't I just take? I just take. Oh, interesting, because that doesn't make any sense. Hold on. All right. Oh, queen takes a8. That's why I can't take. All right, so that's why I can't take. I just move over here, but he doesn't see that. Instead, he plays his queen down. I take, he takes, and it's off the board. And now he's just lost. He brings us rook over. It's mating too. I can go ahead and take here. I mean, what's he gonna? He comes back here, and I give him another check. He goes here, and where'd I go? I just drop back and mate. But he came over here, and I just came over here, and it wasn't the quickest mate. But he resigned at this point. He saw that he was lost. All right, so I've got through 3 rounds, 2 wins, 1 loss. I'm still, okay, I'm not doing bad. I'm sitting there thinking, all right, I got the lower rated players. I had 1,200 and I had 1,551. I'm thinking I'm going to go into round 4 and I'm going to get to play 17, 1,800. And if I win that game, I'll go in the last round. And, I got some opportunities here. But for the first 3 rounds, I'm 2 wins, 1 loss. And it's not all bad at this point. Now, this will be it for this video, these 3 games. But tomorrow I will have the final 2 games. And I promise you, the final 2 games are better than what I showed in these first 3 games. So if you come back and watch those, it might be worth watching it for you. One of them, the last game will be worth watching it. The first game, it's basically watching the Hippo steamroll somebody. But anyway, I probably gave a little bit too much away. But come back tomorrow, and I will see you on the next video.